The Good and the Beautiful is releasing their Science for Little Hearts and Hands, their Winds and Waves unit. Who else is super excited about this? I am. I'm super excited. We love Science for Little Hearts and Hands. We have done the Fields and Flowers unit and it was a hit here. I have videos on my channel already giving you guys a flip through, doing a lesson with us. Guys, we love Science for Little Hearts and Hands, and it's geared towards the early elementary age, preschool, kindergarten, that kind of age level, and honestly it's so amazing. And today I'm sharing with you guys a flip through so you can kind of see inside the parent guide, the big book of stories that it comes with, and to see if this is a good fit for you and your homeschool. So I am super excited to share this with you guys. Now, I want to thank The Good and the Beautiful for partnering with me on this video. I just feel super blessed to be able to partner with a company that I love so much. I buy all my curriculum from The Good and the Beautiful. I've been buying them for years, so this is just such an organic partnership. So thank you so much, The Good and the Beautiful, for sending this over to me and for partnering with me on today's video. Okay, first things first, Science for Little Hearts and Hands, Wind and Waves comes with a parent guide. It looks a bit different, but it looks super cute, super beautiful. And then you also get the big book of science stories that comes along with it. Inside the lessons, it'll tell you when to read these books. Okay, so here's the course book. You'll notice that the binding of the course book is a little bit different from the Fields and Flowers one, kind of like lace flat kind of thing. So you'll see it's a bit different, very, very beautiful and colorful. This is the table of contents and it has 30 different lessons. Okay, then it has the about the course book, what it includes. So you'll have the parent guide, the big book of stories, and then you also have lesson audio narrations. How cool is that? So there's going to be audio narrations instead of the actual videos this time. The thing that I noticed as well, that there's also experiments. I just took a little peek, so that's really fun as well. There's a lesson overview, just telling you how to use the course book. It's very important for you to read these things just so you know how to use the course, and so on and so forth. There is activities. So opening activities are listed at the beginning of each lesson and optional activities are listed at the end of each lesson. Any supplies needed is listed on pages 7 to 9. So let's look at pages 7 to 9. Here's the frequently asked questions, and then you have all the supplies. A lot of these supplies you can find at home, but it's good to take a look at it just to make sure that you have all the activities that you need. A lot of hands-on activities over here. Here is the first lesson, what is a meteorologist? So here is the opening. The orange text is the curriculum telling you what to do, and then the black text is what you say to the child. You'll see that it's very simple, very easy, and very straightforward. Up here it always tells you the supplies. Even though it has the supply list in the beginning, it'll tell you the supplies that you need for the optional activity. And then there is also story time. So the story time here is you would go into the big book of science stories, and then you would read that story that would correlate with the lesson. And then there's discussion questions about what you've read, and then here is the optional activity. Weather forecasting. So as you can see here, there is an opening. I've always loved these openings because they are so fun and my kids have always enjoyed them. It'll tell you the supplies needed up here, what you need to read to the child, and then experiment time. You'll notice that there is a lot of experiments this time, lots of hands-on for those hands-on learners. And usually kids this age, they do like hands-on activities. This is a little bit different from the Fields and Flowers. So they're changing up things a bit more. I'm all for it. So as you can see, it's step by step. It'll tell you what to do, and there's always a discussion question. Okay, let's keep on going. So this one is about temperature, opening, story time, and then you have a discussion as well. So the very simple, straight to the point, you have your story time. You'll notice that not all the lessons have a story that goes with it. Over here is the water cycle. So opening, you have your supplies that you need, And then you have the audio narration. So it tells you to go to the back, and there's perforated pages at the end of the unit, and listen to the audio narration, the water cycle. So if you go into the Good and the Beautiful app or their website, you will have an audio narration, and there is perforated pages here in the back because there's a little game that you play as you listen to the audio narration. These are audio narration pawns. So every few lessons, they will have an activity like this, or the audio narration with the game, and the kids have to listen to the audio narration, but there is steps that they need to take. This is so fun. Wow, I'm so excited to do this with my kids. And then discussion, and then there's an optional activity. And from what I see here, it's not like you have to go in a particular order for you to do this, these lessons. You can, do a lessons about clouds, and then you could do a lessons about, let's say, light and shadows. You don't have to really go in order. So that's something to note as well. And you could see that it's also very appealing to many different learners. It appeals to many different ways that children can learn. So I really like that. So wind, there is rain and snow. And you know what I'm thinking here as I'm just going over it with you guys, just giving you my thoughts. If you have older kids, you always can modify this and make it a little bit more interesting for them. So for example, I have a preschooler right now, a son that's going into the 1st grade. I also have a 4th grader. So sometimes what I do to make this a little bit more interesting for my 4th grader, which my almost 4th grader, I should say, because my son really does love this. Actually, I don't even have to modify it that much, but maybe we will do like a little, journal entry or an essay, because we're learning about essays. So there's different ways that you can modify this. But also the Good and the Beautiful actually has a lot of units, science units that are geared towards grade 3 and 8. And maybe you can even add that, a different science unit to the mix. You can add on that science unit because they do have science units on weather. They do have science units on like their marine biology unit. So just giving you an idea of maybe if you're thinking of placing an order, you always can do that. Bodies of water, salt water and fresh water. So funny because my son was asking me, my 4-year-old, he was asking me, Mommy, what's the difference between salt water and fresh water? Why do we have salt water and why do we have fresh water? He was asking me all these questions. So this is going to be a good one. And there's a story time that goes along with it, the optional activities. What is a marine biologist? See, you could even add the marine biology unit, which I have that one. So that would be a lot of fun. Sand and seashells. This would even be a good curriculum to add for the summertime. But it doesn't have to be, right? You can do it whenever. But this would be a lot of fun. A lot of different, maybe even field trips that you can take with your kids when you do this. I like just going over a list of maybe what are some, places we can visit to bring, a curriculum more to life. Coral reefs. So you can see like each lesson is a little bit different in the activities. Sometimes you're reading stories, sometimes you're playing games with the game pawns, and you're hearing the audio narration. So there's just so many different ways that these lessons are done. So it's not boring in a way, it's very visually appealing. It's almost like, a different sensory experience with the audio narration. I'm really liking it. I'm thinking this is really, really cute. Let me know what you guys think. Here is the Big Book of Science Stories, Wind and Waves. And let's see how this is looking. And as you can see, there's not a story for every single lesson. But one of the things you'll notice is how beautifully illustrated it is. So a day at the news station. And one of the things that I really like is the diversity in the actual pictures. And the book isn't very, very short. Like it's not a short picture book. It's a little bit longer, but my kids do not seem to mind. I'm really liking the fun facts little page. I wonder if all of them have that. We'll take a look right now. Timmy's temperature tour. Very sweet pictures. And we're learning, you know, through stories, which is awesome. Oh, it does have the fun fact page. And then you saw in the lessons how they have the discussion questions at the end. The windmill, that's really nice. Such beautiful pictures. Very like diverse, as you can see. And I saw one that said about like Brazil, like the beaches in Brazil. So I'm very curious about that one. Rain and snow, floods, very cute illustrations. Hurricane Day. We don't have hurricanes here. We have tornadoes here in Canada. We have tornadoes here in Canada, but not tornadoes and hurricanes, not hurricanes. Florida has hurricanes. Lots of lightning storms, especially now with the summer coming. So this would actually be a really good unit study to do during like the spring, summer, but of course you could do it any time of the year. I want to go to the Brazil one. I'm going to switch over, guys. So I'm not going to show you everything. Is this the Brazil one? No. Amelia's Beach. I'm going to try to go to that one. Beaches in Brazil. Oh, wow. I've been to Brazil before. If you didn't know, that's our background. Brazil. My husband is Brazilian. I've lived in Brazil for a year. We speak Portuguese. So this is going to be such a fun story for us to read. I'm so excited. I've been to beaches in Brazil. I'll do a little pop-up here if I can. That's so nice. Wow. I'm liking this. The aquarium adventure. Oh yes, we have to go to an aquarium. We're going to do this lesson and we're going to go to the Ripley's aquarium in Toronto. They have one. How sweet. And the aquarium is big and beautiful there in the Toronto aquarium. The Ripley's aquarium. We're going to do some fun field trips. Okay guys, I'm going to leave it at here so you can kind of get an idea of how the big book of science stories Wind and Waves look and how this curriculum looks. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. I think this is going to be a hit in our homeschool. Guys, we just finished off one of the units, which is what is a meteorologist? And as you can see, we're doing a little activity that they recommend us doing it. We're using our school nest notebooks and the kids are just... That seems like a solar flare. Look at Lily's. She's just doing her own thing. I got some glitter involved as well. It doesn't ask you for glitter, but the kids wanted to play with glitter. So you see Michael, he did more of, we did like to see how the temperature is going to be within the next 3 days and just predict it. So the kids did that right now. Nicholas is also doing it. Even though Nicholas is going into the 4th grade, he still participated. And you can make it a little bit more challenging for the child. So for Nicholas, maybe you could even do like a journal entry on what is a meteorologist if you want to get like your older kids involved. Just giving you kind of like tips and tricks and how I use it in my household so everyone can have fun. So what do you guys think of this lesson?
I liked it.
Michael, did you have fun?
Yeah.
You love it, right? We had so much fun. They're so busy right now. But anyways, as you can see, that's kind of how we do it. And it was a fun lesson. Okay, friends, that is a flip through first impressions of the Science for Little Hearts and Hands, Winds and Waves. Stay tuned for a do a lesson with me video maybe. Let me know if that's something that you would be interested in watching. And thank you so much, The Good and the Beautiful, again, for partnering up with me on this video. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.